Welcome, everybody, to Rewired and Desired, where intimacy, mindset, and disability intersect. My name is Nicole, and I'm your co host. And I have the lovely Trina Ricketts, the intimate Ostomy, as your secondary co host. Today, we are going to be asking a fundamental question. How do we know we are living by our values
Mm,
and characteristics, the character that we want to be and who we are in the world? So,
yes.
let you start it, Trina.
Yes, I love it. I love it. This is so important because I think something that happens, especially after our surgeries, and it's changed our energy levels, it's changed maybe whether we can work or not, or do the job we used to do, or make love the way we used to make love. And we've changed a lot through our surgery. We often
Mhm.
come out the other side saying, who am I now? I don't even know who I am anymore. I remember feeling that way and thinking, like, I used to think I was this go-getter mom that was like just, had everything together. I was the woman with the clean house who was volunteering at my kids' school and, that, and also like the stripper behind everyone's backs. No one really knew I was living a double life, but I was like this, this cool mom that also like volunteered at my kids' school and everything. Always had a clean house. And I always went dancing. If you asked me who I was, I'd be like, I'm like this dancing mom something or other, you know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
I come out the other side and I could barely be a mother. I can't dance anymore. I have to give up my job, my volunteer positions, like everything's gone. And I literally, and
Identity stripped.
yeah, and my libido was gone at that time. And like, I'm suddenly like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like, I
Yeah.
really don't know. And it makes you wonder, like, who are you when everything is taken away from you,
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know? And
You know
so,
what though? But that's
yeah.
like it's so beautiful place. Like looking back now, it's
Mhm.
a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, it is. It's like a blank canvas in a way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like what it led where it led me is down this kind of rabbit hole of trying to find out who am I when I'm not all the things I thought I was, that were really to pertaining to like my health, honestly. When you take the health away, when you take everything else away, who are you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so what I learned is that who we are is our character, and our character is based on how we live our values.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say how we live our values is because often we feel like we know what our values are. We're like, yeah, if someone asked me what my values are, I could just think of them and tell them. I don't have to do like an inventory and figure it out. I know what my values are. But we don't live our values all the time. We might know what our values are and have values, but we don't live them because in the moment to moment of our lives, we are just faced with these sudden decisions that we make based on our emotions.
Yeah.
And when we are making decisions based on our emotions rather than our values, often our actions clash with who we really want to be.
Yes.
And so we might be like being moody when we don't want people to see us as moody, or we might be being like sucking the energy out of people's lives with our complaining and our misery and our sadness. But that's not who we are as a person. That's not our values,
Yeah.
but it's become our character because we're not living in our values. And
Wow.
so the first thing to do is, and I do this in my coaching program, is to do a value inventory, figure out what are our values, and then create a personal constitution based on your values. And that constitution is something I like to read it daily, especially when I first make it, when I first create it. And then when I'm faced with any kind of difficult decision or something where I don't know what to do, or an emotional like situation that I'm like, I don't like know how to handle this. If I look at my personal constitution, it will usually tell me what to do because
Mm,
my values are all set out in it, and I can look at it and say, this is what I'm supposed to do.
I love that.
So, and I will get to examples when we get through this, and we'll try to move through this pretty quickly. But to provide some background, a really powerful way to figure out what your values are is to do a eulogy exercise where you write your own eulogy. So you imagine that 5 years from now, you've died peacefully. It's not anything terrible. Okay. Now, obviously, none of us want to die in 5 years, but
Right.
this is just a hypothetical
Yeah, and
scenario.
I admit I was a little bit concerned when we went through this because I was like, I don't want to envision like that's, because
Mhm.
I'm all about the power of the mind, but
Yeah.
now I get it because
Hmm.
I've done it.
Yeah. So it's an exercise. It's very hypothetical. We know we're not going to die, but
Yeah.
we want to imagine that 5 years from now. And the reason it's 5 years from now is because we can change from how we are today to how we are 5 years from now. And 5 years from now, if I passed away, what would my friend say about me at my funeral? What would my family member say about me at my funeral? And what would my coworker or business associate say about me at my funeral? And the exercise is to sit down and write those eulogies as if you are that person and to create a eulogy that this is what you would want them to say. So not what they would actually say. So like if your daughter's really pissed off at you, you don't want to write a eulogy from your daughter's perspective, like talking, trash talking you. You want it to be about, you have to do this. There you go. I think when you do this,
I
it
don't know why it does
refocuses.
this. It's this new camera thing. It's like a zoom in, zoom out thing. It's
So yeah, so you don't want to write like trash talking yourself. You want to write it as if over the next 5 years, you and your daughter mend your
yeah,
relationship and you have an amazing relationship and your daughter is delivering your eulogy at your funeral. What would you want your daughter to say? What would you want your friend or your family or your
yeah,
coworker to say? And so Nicole has done this exercise and I'm really excited to hear. I haven't heard the results of that experience for her yet, and we're going to talk it out. And then we're going to talk about how to create a personal constitution based on this exercise. So,
perfect.
how was it,
Okay,
Nicole?
so going back like a little bit, like I know that pre-ostomy, I lived in my emotions, like you said. So I made all my decisions based on emotions, which meant that I wasn't living who my true character was. I wasn't. And it was that moment when, well, I should say that moment, it was a long moment of years of that being stripped away, which I am so thankful for because it means that deep down, my heart meant all these things that I wanted to be, but that I couldn't be them because I just lived in those emotions, right?
Mhm.
And so doing this really made me see that, I am now on the way to becoming that person.
Beautiful.
We're never perfect and
Right.
we're going to have falls and get back down. Um, but yeah, it was really, really eye-opening to see that this is what I want people to say about me, and this is my character, and this is the true meaning of my heart. Because it's questionable sometimes with people. We never really know people's true intentions, and we only know what we're
Excuse me.
thinking and feeling. And so it's
Mhm.
just, yeah, it was just really eye-opening to know that I'm becoming that person. So
That's
yeah. So
awesome.
I'm so thankful and grateful for it. And like I said, I was a little concerned. I'm like, I don't want to think about my death. Like I don't even want to go there. But
Mhm.
it wasn't even there. I didn't even think that part of it. I
Yeah.
just thought about me when I'm not here, what that would be, what would be said, or
Yeah.
what will be said, right? What will be said. So and I kind of veered off a little bit from like the three people. So
Okay.
I did let me get into it. I just want to tell you. I did friend,
Excuse me.
bless you. I did friend, and then I did advocacy partner. So people that I've
Mm.
like done advocacy work with. And then I did a family, just family in general. I didn't like say specifically, just that this is what my family would say, you
Yeah.
know.
Nice.
So yeah.
Do you want to
Do
share a
you,
little bit of what they
yeah,
said? Cool.
yeah, sure. Okay, so family. Um, Nicole was many things to many people, but to us, she was home. She taught us that life isn't measured by what happens to us, but how we choose to respond to it. Even through hardships, setbacks, and uncertainty, she showed us what courage looked like. Not because was fearless, but because she continued forward despite her fears. She loved deeply and fiercely. She celebrated victories, carried us through struggles, and reminded us that we were capable of more than we believed. She taught us the importance of faith, perseverance, kindness, and personal responsibility, and showed us that even when life changes unexpectedly, we can create beauty, purpose, and meaning. Nicole did not live a perfect life, but she lived an authentic one. She laughed, cared, and never stopped growing. She taught us that healing is a lifelong journey and that our greatest challenges can be our greatest gifts. Her legacy isn't what she accomplished, but who she helped us become. Her love continues through every lesson she taught, every life she touched, and all the inspiration she gave. We miss her deeply, but we are forever grateful that she was part of our home.
Oh, that just brings tears to my eyes. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it. It opens up so beautifully too.
And I really like the friend one. I want to read that one because that one's
Mhm.
more about, was it the friend one? Um Yeah, the friend one. Okay. So Nicole lived exactly as she was meant to. No boundaries and out of the structure of society, which I love. She did not always have certainty, but she chose faith. She did not always have answers, but she did seek truth. She didn't avoid the pain, but she transformed it into wisdom. She understood that life wasn't happening for her or to her, but was happening for her, which
Mhm.
I just love. And I've been living by that for a while now. Every challenge was an invitation to grow, and the setbacks became lessons. Every ending was something new. She chose courage over comfort and authenticity over approval. She chose service and resilience and learned that success wasn't measured by all the money, all the recognition, or all the achievements, but that her alignment and her values and her contribution to others. She became the woman she once dreamed of becoming because she believed in not perfection, but persistence. She trusted herself, she trusted her intuition, and released what no longer served. At the end of her life, she had no regrets about playing small and used her voice and shared her gifts with the people that surrounded her and embraced the adventure of becoming. So,
Oh, that's so beautiful too.
yeah,
I
thank
love
you.
it.
Thank you.
That's
And I
amazing.
made, I had a little bit of like mistakes in there, so I was trying to read around it, but
That was
yeah,
so good. Oh my
thank
gosh.
you.
And it's so true. Like as your friend, I can see myself saying like almost everything on there. That's
Yeah,
amazing. If I
thank you.
could remember it all.
Well, yeah, I think the part is like the happening, like that's part of the spirituality part is like realizing that life is happening to for us and not to us. And
Mhm.
that's a huge part of like that identity shift, I think, and like living
Yes.
in your character is like being humble, you know, Jesus was humble, right? Jesus walked the earth and did it so gracefully and gratefully. And I've also, like when you go to the dinner table or when you're at a family outing, I've learned to let other people go first, right? Because like
Hmm.
why I feel when I feel the need to jump in and take, it feels really inauthentic, right? Like
Mm.
I want people to feel happy. And it's not because they're going before me, but because it's just about having that, well, we talked about it, that stoicism, that
Mhm.
like, not that I'm stoic by any means, but you know what I mean?
I
Like,
think you have quite a
oh,
bit of stoicism in you, but yeah, I know, like not feeling like you need to compete with others to be first
yeah,
or,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
get
love that.
ahead and being
Yes.
able to just go with the flow and, you
Mhm.
know, give people the opportunity to speed ahead if they need to and not feel like you need to judge
Yeah.
or be faster or whatever. Yeah,
Hmm.
it is.
Hmm.
It's nice when you can let go of that.
Yes.
You
It's
reminded me of
freeing.
something I saw on YouTube recently, Joe Dispenza talking about there are four levels of consciousness. At the very lowest level, the ego level, we think that everything is happening to us.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then at the next level, we start to think that things are happening by us, where
Okay.
we're working hard to make things happen.
Hmm.
And then the third level is when we become more spiritual and things are happening through us. And at the highest level, when you're feeling like very connected to everyone and everything and
Hmm. Hmm.
the universal source, the creative power that's within us and without
Yeah.
us all,
Yeah.
that you're working at the level of as me.
Mm. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. That
I
is
know. I
so
can't get it
true.
out of my head. I'm like, wow, that is
Yeah.
so true. Like I can look back and see each part of my life as I went through those stages.
Hmm. Hmm. I can too. I can too. And it's like, gosh, nowhere would I ever want to go back to stage stage one because that's victim mentality.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of people live their whole lives is in victim
Mhm.
mentality. Even that's where the blame and the all that comes up. But anyways, I digress. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this was such an eye-opening experience too, because like you said, you like to go back and read it, and I can see how important it is to go back. I'm all about lists and having my binder as well of all the things, and this is going to be one of those very important things that I will read daily, because it's good to remind yourself, especially when you're going to be going into a hard situation or a situation where, you're going to be speaking to people or talking to people or engaging conversations that are going to be hard or difficult. And so this is one of those things, or making decisions or,
Hmm.
with your children, anybody,
So did
right?
you
Like,
get further and did you create a constitution, a personal constitution
so
based on your eulogy?
I got to the point where I did the I am kind of statements, but I
Hmm.
didn't put it together. I'm not done with the personal constitution part
Okay.
yet. That part I want your help with.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah,
We can
yeah,
do
I'm
that the
working on
next. So, just to give people an idea of what a personal constitution can look like. Now, it can look like anything. If you're really creative, it could be a poem. If you are a songwriter, it could be
it.
a song. If you like to write in paragraphs and be very detailed, it could be a very detailed manifesto, maybe. I'm more of like a very to the point, concise list type of person. And so that's how I created my personal constitution. So I'm going to go and find it and share it with you.
Perfect.
So my personal constitution is I let others be right. I
Mm,
keep my promises. I have hope and I preach hope. I help others advance in their goals. I do not take the emotional reactions of others personally. I
mhm.
forgive. I apologize when I hurt someone. I listen more than I speak. That's one I struggle with.
That is hard.
I make time for the people I love. I treat people with respect and dignity. I contribute to causes that I believe in passionately. I love with all my heart. I make time for my loved ones. So you can see I actually have, that's the second time I've said that, but in a different way. And when I made my list, I didn't realize I did that twice, but it made me think, wow, that's really important to me. And at the
Mm,
time, I didn't feel like I was making enough time for my loved
yeah,
ones. But since creating this personal constitution and reading it daily, now I do feel I spend the time with my loved ones that I have always wanted to. So it's amazing
yeah,
how it can change your life.
yeah.
The next one is my love is unconditional
Mm.
and my boundaries are non-negotiable. I learn from my mistakes. I tell the truth. I stand up for others. I foster peace in my interactions. I embrace life gratefully and passionately, and I live for today.
Mm.
And so, like, when you think about those, you can see how if I ran into like a situation where I didn't know what to do, those the personal constitution could lead me. Like if it's something where
Yeah,
I'm feeling bad because somebody really wants me to do something, but I just really don't want to do it. And I go and I
yep,
read my personal constitutions and I see, that I try to help others, but I also see that my boundaries are
yeah.
non-negotiable.
I
And
was
then
gonna
I would
comment
have
on
to
that.
go with what works for me, right? And if it's about something that someone's done and I'm holding on to resentment and I don't know how to handle this situation, I go in there and I see that my personal constitution is that I forgive and that I don't take the emotional reactions of others personally. So that
Mhm.
would lead me how to react.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that you said the boundaries thing, and that's a good one to add in because it's not just about all you know, the butterflies and rainbow type
Hmm.
words, but it's also the fact of no, like this is a non-negotiable. Like
Being
I'm
able to
setting
have
boundaries.
boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
having boundaries is so important. And I think it's one of the things we're supposed to learn in Earth School,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I agree. I agree.
So
I agree.
important.
It's really hard, especially people who are empaths and want to, not compete with people and that
Hmm.
kind of thing. We feel like we have to give, especially as women. We feel like we have to give, give, give,
Hmm.
and we don't. We have to set, firm boundaries for
Yeah.
ourselves. Um,
Everyone needs to set boundaries. Honestly, I think it's a big issue. Almost every single one of my coaching clients have areas that they don't
mm,
maintain their boundaries. Even if it's like in a sexual encounter,
yeah,
you know it's going to hurt, but you want to just please your partner. That's a
right.
that's a boundary that you shouldn't be
Yeah,
crossing.
yeah,
Or you really want to have sex and your partner's not in the mood, so you shame them.
yeah.
Now you're crossing a boundary. You know what I mean? And there's just, I think that there's learning healthy boundaries is one of the most important things we can do in our lives because
Hmm.
otherwise, and like you were when you were just talking, it made me think about like how a lot of us who have been through health issues,
Yeah.
part of the reason our physical bodies are in dis-ease is because of mental and emotional
Hmm.
dis-ease.
Hmm.
And that can be created a lot of the time because we're people pleasers.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
find a lot of people with really serious health conditions, they just want to make everything better all the time for everyone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like they don't want to be a burden. I should say we. We
Yes.
don't want to be a burden. We want to make sure everything's okay for everyone else and
Yeah.
we lean in the direction of people pleasers and
Yeah.
that affects our health.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things my health taught me because I got to the point where I had to say no all the time, and I got so good at it that now I can say no.
Yeah. This lines up a lot with uh Dwayne and I are going to do a Facebook Live in our Live with Ostomy Bag uh
Group,
group.
Facebook group.
Sorry.
That's
Words,
okay.
words, words. And I was thinking about how um we're going to be specifically talking about like what your ostomy has taught you that you wouldn't learn in life.
Yeah.
And it's so like this kind of goes along with it because I think back to what my ostomy taught me was it was around the same time that my boob popped and
Mm,
like, it's like I was shedding the ego, but not just the ego of the mind, the ego of like the actual ego that everybody thinks that you have, like the
mhm.
looks and the body and the image, right? And that had to like get away from me. But in order for me to step into my purpose, you
Totally.
know, in order for me to remember who I am and that like worrying about what's just going on here, the little things that happen in work and life and family and drama and friends and all of this stuff really isn't that important. It's about how we live our lives and how
Mhm.
we, go forward and who we help and how we, navigate life here on earth while, maintaining like into that spirituality and not worrying so much about all that other stuff. And we still want to
Mhm.
look nice and we still want to have nice things, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but they're secondary
Yeah.
to who we are, not primary to who we are.
Yeah, coming from the adult entertainment industry and like making money off my body. And then I had like this perfect stomach and a little cute belly button. And I even had a
Yeah.
tattoo on my stomach that's now
Oh,
completely destroyed.
yeah.
And I felt so confident about my body and like had that completely taken away, all
Yep.
in one fell swoop, and then rebuilt
Yes.
it. And
Yep.
now I have a bag. I am like 15 pounds heavier than I was. I have no belly button, scars, cellulite. Like I'm getting older. I got wrinkles. You know what
Well,
I
yeah,
mean?
we have
Like
that
I'm
too.
I've got the things that are happening to my body and I actually feel more sexy and more confident now than I ever have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is how I know that it's a
The
mindset
mind.
thing.
Yes.
It's in the mind. It's not about our bodies because when I
Right.
had the perfect body, I was less confident than I am now.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I was actually scrolling through pictures when I was making a video and I got to a picture of me where I was like, damn, you are hot.
I know,
I
right?
was thinking that to myself, but then I was like, but you were also not happy with yourself,
Hmm.
had no like when I think back to just even just a couple years ago when I started my business and like how personal development and entrepreneurship are like go hand in hand, I was like, holy crap, I have so much to work on. So then you minus deduct another 7 years from that when I was looking my best and I was afraid, yeah, I
Hmm.
may have been had some college degrees and did some things, but it was nowhere near like the
Mm.
where I'm at now.
Yeah, I mean, back then I was still kicking the door behind my partner when they walked out angry
Yeah.
blaming everyone for my
Yes.
my own pain and my own shame and my own unhappiness. And
Same.
yeah, it's a
Same.
huge difference from that little scrappy little bitch I used to be. And people would say to
No,
me,
I
no,
do
no,
know.
no, Trina, you've always been sweet. And I'm like, I remembered being not so sweet. And of course, it would only be in situations with people who were also probably not being very sweet to me. It was usually a reaction to
Yeah,
someone's
same.
action. So yeah, I
Same.
wasn't like this horrible person that went around bullying and starting problems. It was usually,
Right.
like I said, a reaction to an action, but it still
Same.
would turn me into this like scary
Oh,
bitch, you know?
same. Same. I call it my ghetto side. I'm like my
Your
ghetto
ghetto
side.
side.
I'm like, please. Like, and I'd be like, mm-mm. I'd be all, yeah, like the hood in me would come out and I'd be
Yeah.
ready to fight if I
And
had to,
even,
you
yeah,
know?
I know. Even for years after I stopped stripping, whenever I was in a situation where I felt intimidated or insecure, I would reach in and I would pull out stripper Trina. Well, stripper
Mm.
Annie. My name was Annie.
Stripper Annie.
I would pull out stripper Annie. I'd be like, okay, you right now, just feel like you used to feel when you were working in the club. And then I would get that feeling, it would give me confidence, and I would walk in. And that was like second level, right? First it was to me, that's
Yeah,
by me. That's where I'm
right,
like, okay,
right.
I'm going to make myself feel confident. I'm going to psych myself up. I'm going to
Yeah,
do this. I'm going to do that.
yeah.
When I got to through me, then I didn't need to pump myself up anymore because I didn't need to convince myself that I was worthy going
Mm-hmm.
into a situation. I went into situations knowing I'm worthy.
Yeah.
And that's such a huge difference.
Do you feel like time essentially like with all these experiences as you move through more and more and you know more and more that it's faster to get to the next me
Yes.
too. So I'm just realizing even from I'm even seeing changes from a month ago to be back like it's easy to go back and look years ago and say this
Mhm.
is where I was, but from all this self-work, I'm like going back and saying, "Oh, just a month ago I would have experienced it this way and now I'm experiencing it this way."
Oh man, I mean, I spent 9 years in a relationship with someone who was very unhealthy with serious
Mhm.
addiction issues, and yet I was absolutely ecstatically happy for most of that 9 years because I was at a level where I felt so just good within myself and who I am, and I could let go of the stupid shit and get over that and be grateful for the good that was in the relationship. And now I would never put up with that relationship
Yeah. Yeah, same.
even
Same.
even though I know it was I wouldn't like erase it. I wouldn't want to like not have had it happen because it was
Right.
amazing and I enjoyed
Right.
so much of it.
Right.
But I've moved to a newer level of what I deserve in
Yes.
life
Yes.
and what I'm willing to accept, and
Yeah.
it's
And just how you respond to them as well. Like
yeah.
it's so easy, like you said, to respond with, with any type of criticism. Like for
Hmm.
me, criticism was like, oh, it felt like you were eating me away inside.
Hmm.
And now I'm like, okay, I can handle that criticism or
Yeah.
the correction or whatever it is. But yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a powerful exercise. I mean, the whole course that I'm doing with you is powerful
Thank
because,
you.
yes, like this visualization thing is like literally helping me understand what I actually do want and helping me sift and sort, right, to
Yeah.
get there. And then I'm just seeing the things already start to like happen. And like the little clues, right? It's like you get little clues from the universe. Here you go. Here you go. I'm going to give you a little bit of what you're thinking and feeling and what you want. And
Yeah.
the visualization is really pushing me to that.
I
So,
know. I mean, this is why I love it so much. Um, it's like once people start doing the work, especially the visualization exercise,
hmm
uh,
hmm
but they start having wins. They start
Yeah.
like things start to change in their lives,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they become addicted to it, like me and
Yeah.
you. And once
Yes.
you're addicted to it, then that's it. You just like you said, it just you you grow faster and faster and
Hmm.
faster
Hmm.
and like we were talking about, not taking things personally when people are angry or whatever, and like the last relationship I was in, even though there were lots of messed up things in it that a lot of people would, turn into this big regret and oh my God, why was I with that person?
Yeah.
But I never did that. And when we broke up, I was able to let go with love. And that was something that I was never able to do in any of my previous relationships. That was the
Mm,
first time I was ever able to like walk away when I still loved the person, but I knew that I couldn't keep going on because it was becoming to too toxic. In other
mm.
relationships before that, I would wait till I hated the person.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and
yeah.
then what are the values there? What are my
No, because
values when I'm fighting with someone every day until I hate them and then breaking up with them? I'm not living in my values. Whereas in the relationship that wasn't great, wasn't the
right.
best ever, but I was grateful. I was living in my values and I let go with love because I wanted to live in my values. And my
Yeah,
values are unconditional love, forgiveness, and not taking things personally.
yeah. And in that, you're setting boundaries as well.
Yes, exactly. Not staying in the relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a podcast. I don't know if I listened to the rest of it, I think this morning. And she's a little out there, spiritually and channels and that kind of thing. Which, most people probably aren't familiar with, but she channels in goes up to another dimension and channels people who have passed or other, beings.
Spiritual energies to give her knowledge and that she shares with people.
Exactly. Comes back here, sits in front of the camera and tells us. And one of the things that she shared was that when it all boils down in the end and Judgment Day comes, what really matters is that we love ourselves.
Wow.
Yes.
That is
That
probably the
we
most difficult
love
thing any of
ourselves.
us has to try and learn.
But I think this constitution and like going through some of these practices show us that we have the potential, like if we're not feeling that we are these things that we want to be in the end, these are all acts of self-love because they're all qualities of the person that we are trying to be and that we probably
Mm.
are, we're just not connected with yet, right?
Oh, I
If
love that.
you wouldn't be feeling these things if they weren't feeling and seeking you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that what you said, like all of the things in your personal constitution are actually acts of self-love.
Mm-hmm.
Having boundaries, forgiving others, everything. It's all like if I look at my list, I could go through and see that every single part of it is really about loving myself because I'll love myself more if I'm living in my value.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And I
Yes.
know like days when my kids need me and I'm so exhausted and I have so much work to catch up on and I wish that they could just handle their lives on their own without mommy. Or,
Yes.
but then I go back and my personal constitution is that I want to really make time for my loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Every single time. I
Yeah.
never wish, oh no, I wish I would have done the work I needed to do on the computer instead of
Yeah.
being there
Yeah.
for my kid. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yes.
just amazing, right? And
Yeah.
like and we could also use that as a boundary. Maybe I do need to set some boundaries with my children, who knows, right? But that used to be the opposite. I used to be like, Mummy's busy. Mummy's
Yeah.
busy. Mummy's
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Mummy stops what she's doing and
Yeah.
spends that time with her
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 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 You can look at it. You can look at it both ways, but
You
I
can.
totally, yeah, but that's
It
good.
really,
That's
you
good.
got to
Yeah.
just figure out what is your value. Specifically, what is the value you want to live up to the most? And for me, it is being there for my family. And
Yeah.
when you said, what is the one thing that it boils down to that matters the most when we're moving to the other side? I
Mm-hmm.
thought you were going to say it's how we make others feel.
Yeah.
And I know that is important, but I totally like how we make others feel is dependent on how we feel about ourselves.
Well, it
If
is, and we're all actually one. If
yes.
we all are one, we're all God's children.
As me. The level
Yes.
of as me.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Because, you always know if someone is lashing out at you or criticizing you or passive aggressively trying to, bring you down,
Oh
that
yeah.
person is doing that because they're unhappy within
Yep.
themselves.
I had an
It's a
experience.
projection of their own
Yes.
inner feelings.
Yep. I had an experience just like this yesterday with my ex.
Wow.
And it wasn't even a conversation he and I were having. It was a conversation through my son, and he's exactly what he was doing. But see, I know him based on the experiences I've had, and so I can see it. But
Hmm.
it nevertheless, it got me. He tried. It got to me. It
Yeah, I know,
pissed
right?
me
They are the
off.
triggers, the worst triggers. Our biggest teachers are our worst triggers.
Yes. So, but it's all good
Mm.
because we're, like I said, we aren't going to be perfect. But again, if
Mm.
we have that self-love is going to be loving everybody else anyways. That's what it boils down to. It's
And
conscious.
forgiving ourselves when we're not perfect.
Yeah.
I
So,
have to do that. I have to just
yeah.
forgive myself and let it go. Don't keep
Mhm.
thinking about it. Don't keep stressing. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? What was I thinking? But just forgive myself and let it go.
Yeah.
I should
Yeah.
put that in my constitution. I
There you
forgive
go.
myself because I think I said I forgive others. I should have I forgive myself in there, you know.
See, that is a
Yeah,
good, yeah. Yeah. That's that act of self-love.
it is. Well,
Amazing.
I loved talking about this today and I love your eulogies. They
Thank
were so
you.
beautiful. They really do
Thank you.
reflect you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And here's one other thing I like to say.
Hmm.
Because I think part of being, I think, where we're at is like also recognizing, like we said, we're not perfect, but one thing that we learn is that as we grow, the less we know. So I've heard this from
Mhm.
somewhere else, but
Yes.
that's really something I think I go back to think too often is like the more I grow, the more I realize that I don't know that much because I'm still learning so much. And can you imagine just how much more learning we have? Like we have so much more growing to do.
I know.
So yeah, yeah.
So
So
that
this is
tells you
perfect.
when someone is 100% sure of something, they
Yeah,
probably have some more growing to do.
true, true. So if I tell you that this is the truth, don't always listen, you guys.
Oh my God, we're confusing people now. But this is the nature of life. Question everything. And yeah. Anyway, I hope everybody who is has watched to this point is
Yeah,
um is going to try out that eulogy exercise. And if you
yes,
want me to take you by the hand and walk you through the whole
yes.
program.
Yes. See, Trina, because let me tell you, it's been a blessing, and especially at this time of my life, like it came perfectly, and I'd pay a lot of money for that course. I'm just saying. I love it.
Yes, and I feel the same way about you. I actually feel like I get a counseling session every time we do a podcast
It's
because I
amazing.
learn so much from you. I love it.
Oh, and I do too. It's a blessing.
Best friends forever.
Heck yeah. And just wait till you see what's coming.
Yeah, I
Just
know. I was like,
saying.
should we
Just
say anything?
saying.
I'm so
No, and I
excited.
think we still leave them in wonder, right? We still leave them in wonder. They don't know yet, but just know
Mhm.
that something's coming.
Something's coming. We're working together on something
Mhm.
really special.
Special.
Wow.
They're like, what is going on behind the scenes? We've never even met in public, okay?
Yeah. You mean in
Uh,
person?
I mean, in person or public.
Or public?
We met in a coffee shop. No. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. No, not yet, but soon to be, right?
Hmm.
So,
So, yeah.
all right, y'all. We're out. Thank you for listening. And next week we will choose another topic, probably on a whim, unless we come up with something great in the meantime.
Yep. And if you have any suggestions for topics, let us know and check out our websites and follow our channel and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and all that stuff. All right.
Bye.
Bye.